twice. I'm going to speak for two candidates as their surrogate. First, I'll speak for my friend Jim Mowrer, and then I'm going to speak for governor candidate Fred Hubble. But first, I'm going to talk about Jim Mowrer. So, many of you probably don't know this, but Jim and I served in Iraq together. I was his company commander in 2005 to 2007 when he and I basically were gone. We were mobilized for 2 years. And 17 months of that was in Iraq. And Jim was assigned to my unit as an intelligence analyst. One thing about intelligence analysts, they just don't let anybody be an intelligence analyst. You've got to be intelligent to be an intelligence analyst, trust me. Jim fits that mold. He fits that bill. What his job in Iraq to do was to identify the threat and then come up with solutions as to how to combat or deal with that threat. And the threat in Iraq was very unpredictable. But we were on the roads. We were like state troopers in western Iraq, Al-Anbar province. And we were dealing with improvised explosive devices, IEDs. And they could put these things wherever they wanted to disrupt and try to basically kill us and our convoys. So Jim was the person that you saw right before you went out on a mission. And Jim would say, here's what you've got to look out for. Here's what you've got to do to keep yourself alive. And one thing that I didn't really notice, because it wouldn't have been crazy, but Jim never said, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican? He didn't care, right? Because we're all Americans. Now Jim wants to run and is going to be our next Secretary of State. Last year, when I was in the legislature, we passed this voter ID bill. If you don't think that this isn't going to suppress voting, I've got news for you. It is. It's going to target the young, the elderly, and minority populations. And who's it going to primarily impact? Of those demographics, it's going to impact Democrats. It's going to make our people, it's going to put barriers for our voters between them and the ballot box. Jim won't ask people when they go to vote, are you Democrat or are you Republican? Because he believes in democracy. He's fought for democracy, and he'll serve our state well as the Secretary of State to make sure that we open the voting booth for all citizens of the state. So that's Jim Mowrer. Please support Jim Mowrer.